Welcome to Dark Truth, a story that will make you question the very boundaries of life and death. Today, we are diving into what is perhaps the only scientifically validated case of reincarnation in the world. It is a story so astonishing that scientists and reincarnation experts from the prestigious University of Virginia had to travel all the way to India to investigate it. Let's travel back in time to the 1970s, to a deeply backward village named Sharifpura in Etawah, Uttar Pradesh. In this village, a girl named Sumitra was born into a poor Thakur family in 1968. Sumitra's mother passed away when she was young, and her father worked as a laborer far away in Delhi. Raised by an older relative, she grew up drowning in loneliness. At just 13 years old, she was married off to a man named Jagdish Singh, but Jagdish also had to leave for the city for work, leaving Sumitra to her familiar isolation. In December 1984, a ray of light pierced her dark world. Sumitra gave birth to a son. For the first time in her life, she had a companion. She was so overjoyed that she would hold her 5-month-old baby to her chest all day long. Little did she know, a terrifying shadow was creeping over her newfound happiness. It was an afternoon in April 1985. Sumitra was returning from the village well, carrying a pot of water in one hand and holding her beloved son to her chest with the other. Suddenly, Sumitra stopped dead in her tracks. She turned into a living statue. Her water pot crashed to the ground. Her free hand shot up towards the sky, her fingers bent backwards, her eyes rolled wildly in circles, and her teeth began chattering violently. For about 5 agonizing minutes, she stood there taking deep, heavy breaths while her baby cried. When she finally lowered her hand and snapped out of it, she had absolutely no memory of what had just happened. These terrifying episodes started happening frequently. The local village doctor, or Vaidya, found no physical illness. Terrified that she might accidentally harm her child during a trance, a heartbroken Sumitra distanced herself from her son. Then came July 16, 1985. Sumitra was resting when another fierce trance overtook her, but this time something chilling happened. She spoke. Sumitra, in a deep, unnatural voice, "Exactly 3 days from today, I will die." The prediction sent shockwaves through her family. When she woke up, she remembered nothing, but the fear set in. When the destined day, July 19, 1985, arrived, Sumitra was incredibly careful. She avoided the well, the kitchen fire, and any heights to prevent any fatal accidents. Evening fell, and she seemed safe. Relieved, Sumitra stood at her door and began chatting and laughing with a friend passing by. Mid-conversation, Sumitra froze like a rock. This time, there was no chattering of teeth or rolling of eyes. She just went completely still. Her friend screamed for help. The village Vaidya rushed over, checked her pulse, and made a grim declaration. Sumitra was dead. Because the village lacked a proper cremation ground, preparations for her final rites began immediately at home. Village women started dressing and preparing her body. 45 minutes passed. One woman, screaming hysterically, "She opened her eyes! Her heart is beating!" The Vaidya checked again. It was a miracle. Sumitra was alive. Her overjoyed husband rushed in to embrace her, but she pushed him away violently. Sumitra angrily, "Who are you? Why are you touching me? I do not know you." Sumitra refused to recognize her husband, her in-laws, or even her beloved infant son. For the next 3 months, she remained distant. Bizarrely, this uneducated village girl began writing letters in perfect Hindi and English, asking her husband to mail them. Then, on October 20th, 1985, a stranger arrived in the village. He had traveled 80 kilometers from a town called Dibyapur. "Stranger, my name is Shiva Tripathi. I am a college lecturer, and I have been receiving mysterious letters from this village for 3 months. Hearing his name, Sumitra ran out of her room and tightly embraced the stranger. Sumitra, crying, "Papa, I was the one sending you the letters!" Ramsia, confused, "Who are you? My daughter doesn't look like you." Sumitra, "Papa, I am not Sumitra. I am your daughter." "Shiva Tripathi!" Ramsia Tripathi opened his briefcase and pulled out his daughter Shiva's wedding album. Sumitra correctly identified everyone in the 15 photographs: her mother, brother, husband Chedilal, and her 2 sons, Rinku and Tinku. But when her finger landed on one specific photograph, she trembled. Sumitra, whispering in fear, "This is my sister-in-law. She is the one who murdered me by hitting my head with a stone." Ramsia Tripathi revealed a heartbreaking truth. His daughter Shiva was a highly educated woman, married into a family that harassed her for dowry. On July 18th, 1985, just 1 day before Sumitra's temporary death, Shiva was found dead on a railway track with a severe head wound. Her in-laws claimed it was suicide and hastily cremated her before her father could arrive. Let's look at the timeline. July 16th, Sumitra predicts her death. July 18th, Shiva is murdered 80 kilometers away. July 19th, Sumitra dies for 45 minutes, and when she wakes up, she possesses the memories, handwriting, and soul of Shiva. Eventually, Shiva accepted Sumitra's kind but poor husband, as well as the infant son, and lived peacefully with them and her 2 children from her previous life. When the news broke, an expert team from the University of Virginia traveled to Etowah. They matched handwriting, checked the death timings, interviewed the villagers, and investigated every single detail. They concluded that based on hard facts, this was perhaps the world's first and only scientifically authenticated case of reincarnation. Sumitra, living as Shiva, spent a happy life until she passed away from an illness in 1998. Was it really a soul swapping bodies in those dark 45 minutes? The facts say yes. What do you think?